as a JC guy? Did he ever commit anywhere and go anywhere, or was it just stick with JC?
Mandel wasn't JC, he was high school.
Was he high school? Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking of that. Okay.
Gallo was
I was thinking
JC.
Gallo, yeah.
Yeah, Mandel was high school, and then he
Bailed and came back, that's right.
Angelo Gunter.
he was gonna go to Montana, and then he decided to come back to BYU.
Is that where he was going to
Sure, Hardman was going to go to Montana too.
Yeah. Yep.
When he said he opened up his recruiting again,
Too soon.
I
man,
tweeted out
too
that this was
soon.
going to be wherever he goes next is his fifth college.
Where was it he ended up again?
I don't know.
No. Him and Jashir?
Jashir.
UMKC.
That's right, KC. But I tweeted out that would be his fifth, and he tweeted back to me. He's like, "I've never even set foot on the Montana campus." I'm like, "That's worse."
It's kind of weird. Arizona was like looking at him.
Really?
They didn't offer, I don't think, but they were
Well,
like looking at him.
I think UMKC has a new coach and like 10 people left, so
UMKC has a new coach pretty much every year.
yeah,
There's
they
no
do.
competition.
Yeah, exactly. It's
My
like
job is as much of a carousel as Chicago State. It's Chicago.
How am I lit,
State
guys? Am I right?
paid $30 million.
Am I right? No shadows?
okay.
I'm looking for the day within the next 2 years when UMKC officially bolts the WAC and goes to state. It's gonna happen. The WAC should try to make a trade while they can. Give UMKC and Chicago State to the summer league in exchange for Omaha and Denver.
I'm sure they'll go over to that. Jeff got grilled by a water bottle.
No, really?
Denver
As you left the stadium, or as you came in?
No. They were in the WAC and took off.
Oh, really?
They put
Yeah, they never
had
actually
Tennessee
technically
student section. Somebody threw a water ball.
They were committed
Jeff
to
in
the
the
WAC.
shoulder, bounced off and hit me in the face.
And
How
then
full was it?
Was about
right
half
as the
full.
WAC was
It's a perfect way.
I thought at first I thought it was a water bottle.
Are you sure it wasn't the shoe that Zach
Yeah,
Doffert
no, we're gone. See you.
just coming down?
They were in the WAC.
Like, I looked at him like,
And they left.
was that a water game? And he was going,
I mean, they played actual WAC games.
Was it an open water bottle?
Competed
But
for
at
conference
but at
titles.
this
But you guys didn't go on the DL. You wrote your stories and everything.
They're so
Yeah.
bad at the summer league.
and all the commotion and all that, literally, I forgot
That
about
they're
it.
actually
Hour later, I go,
What's up, guys? What's up, Coach? How you doing? All right. All right. What questions do you have for me?
Kalani, you had a lot of experience when you were at Utah and Oregon State facing air raid type offenses. USC's installed some air raid concepts into their offense this season. From a defensive perspective, what's the most challenging thing about defending the air raid?
Well, I'm familiar with it because we had that offense here when I was at BYU. So a lot of the concepts, a lot of the schemes carry over from when I played here under Norm Chow and Lavelle Edwards. And so you're looking at it, the concepts are still the same. Execution, all that, it still matters. And so that's probably my first introduction, is that I played under the system. The next thing is that defending it. There's some ways you can defend it, but there's also it's such a unique offense that there's a lot of different ways to attack it. But there's a lot of ways that they can counter as well. So it's going to be a good matchup. Looking forward to it.
From your film breakdown over the weekend, what were some things you learned on the offense and defense side?
Obviously, there's a lot of things that we need to get better, and trying to get at our best, and that's what the focus is going to be, to make sure that we're performing at our best this Saturday, and take advantage of the opportunity that we have having a ranked team coming to our stadium again. So, there's in all three phases, there's a lot of things that we can adjust and improve on, and so we made some improvements from week 1 to week 2. But I'd like to see it continue. I think the environment Tennessee was different. It was really cool that the fans were awesome. It was a cool experience for our players. The noise level was something that I think even surprised some of our coaches. Even Coach Grimes mentioned that he'd never heard that place that loud before, and so I think some things that were surprising for us, but I was really pleased with the way the coaches responded to it, and with adjusting some of the things that we did on both sides of the ball. So we were able to make it work, and that's because I had coaches and players that are willing to adjust and make things happen.
When you mentioned environment, tons of BYU fans were there. Just kind of reflect on how massive that showing was for BYU fans.
Yeah, and they were loud, and I mean you could hear them, throughout the game, cheering and making a lot of noise, and so it was a cool place to be, man. I think it was a nice environment. It's a great experience for our players, but I think the fans had a great time too, and just the people in that area in Tennessee and in Knoxville were awesome. Really good to our families and friends that were there watching the game, and they're good to our players too. So the hospitality was awesome.
Can you put a finger on why you seem to play better on the road against Power 5 teams than at home?
I don't know. I think we just need to find out if we can play like that on the, at home. So that's going to be the key, is just trying to simulate the effort. I think the effort's always been there. Our guys have worked hard. And, I don't know if it has anything to do with matchups or whatever, but looking forward to performing better at home against USC this weekend.
What inspired the position changes? Zane back to safety, Malik goes back to corner. What inspired some of those moves?
A couple things. I think looking at what Zane could do for our defense at the safety spot, I think he can be physical and play at the line of scrimmage, but it's a little different than what we had when we had Fred there. He's more of a hybrid safety that's playing linebacker, and so I think he's more comfortable with that position. Probably has an opportunity to make more plays, not specifically in tackles, at the line, in the box or at the line of scrimmage, but I think we can utilize his speed to help us out there, and then it gives us a good rotation with the guys there.
Tyson had a bigger role in the offense against Tennessee than he did against Utah. Is the plan to just keep increasing his touches? I mean, is there an ideal amount of touches you want to see from him in the game?
We just need to score points. That's it. I mean, he's on the field, so the role, you mean handling the ball, right? Yeah, so
carries, catches,
if it will get us in the end zone, that's all that I care about, is getting points on the board and defense stopping them from scoring points.
What do you think of USC's true freshman quarterback?
Yeah, Slovis, he's an impressive kid, good composure. Watched him last on the film, and just I think he's poised and made some really tough throws, and obviously was really effective. I think it was 28 for 33 and 377 yards. So that's he has some really good weapons around him, but I thought he showed some really good maturity and poise in the pocket and was able to throw the ball with good timing.
Did you scout USC in the preseason at all, or was your first time?
Yeah, we did a little bit of it, but this is the first time we really gone into it with depth, and I think what they're doing is really effective. There's a reason why they're ranked and why there's a lot of excitement going on with them, and so we get them here at home, and just looking forward to matching up with them.
Personnel-wise, is it kind of match what you expected from preseason season?
Oh, yeah. I mean, athletic, tough. I mean, their defense has got a tough front, and they're physical. So I'm really familiar with that staff and have a lot of good friends on that staff. I know what they're capable of doing, and they've done a great job developing and recruiting, and they have some really good weapons, and I'm excited to see our guys go against them.
Certainly not every freshman quarterback is the same, but we always hear when a defense goes against a freshman quarterback, you're trying to overwhelm them and give them many different looks to try and see, is that oversimplifying it, or is that really what you're trying to do with it with a guy that doesn't have a ton of collegiate reps, at least to this point?
Well, I mean, I think everyone goes after the quarterback because he's the guy that handles the ball every play, and makes the decisions, but you can't deny all the weapons that they have and the things that they can do in the run game and also in the pass game. So we have to be well balanced, and we have to improve on some things on defense, and looking forward to getting those getting those fixed and progressing as a defense when you're handling all those weapons, and then an offense trying to find ways to be more effective and score points.
Last year, your team had a big win at Wisconsin. A couple weeks later, struggled with Washington. Do you feel like your roster is better equipped to week in, week out be competitive against these Power 5 teams?
Well, I mentioned that after the post game that last year the big factor was how we came out of the game with Wisconsin. It's a physical game. We had a lot of guys get banged up, and I think as we start to develop our players and get them ready for this type of schedule, the key was to focus a lot on our health and nutrition, and we came out of the game pretty healthy. So that's a good sign for us.
Mike is a guy that showed a lot of emotion after the Utah loss and was able to bounce back with a moment BYU fans probably aren't going to forget anytime soon. How big was that for him? And can you just speak to what kind of player he is for you and what that meant?
Yeah, he's put a lot of just a lot of his heart and soul into this program, you know, and some things that people don't see, and the things with the culture, and just he put a lot of effort into the program, and so I was just really pleased with him being able to make plays, you know, and it doesn't really matter to him though whether he's catching the football or blocking. It's something that he takes a lot of pride in, and having this team be successful. So I'm just really thankful. He's one of our leaders, and he's one of our many leaders, and I rely on them heavily to help make decisions and get their feedback, and as we collaborate and get things going this year.
You look up and down USC's depth chart, and it's been a lot of guys that you guys recruited at one point, offered scholarships. Are they one of the programs you see a lot in recruiting battles, competing to get recruits?
Yeah, of course, especially when we offer guys young and we start working our develop a relationship. We see USC does a lot of recruiting. They do a great job recruiting and evaluating, but we think we do as well, you know, and that's some of the battles we have to get into recruiting. There's some things that are unique about USC that you can't get here at BYU, and vice versa. There's things at BYU that we do that you can't do at USC. So if it's only centered around football, then that's what you're going to get. And for us, it's more than that. And the purpose of players being here is more than just football alone.
You have to move on, prepare for USC, but are there ways that you can capture some of the momentum that you got in the fourth quarter and overtimes against Tennessee and remind the guys this is what you're capable of? Yeah,
I think we hit on those points, and we scored points in overtime. So that, like, in those two drives, you know. So, like I said before, score points and stop them from scoring. And you know, they scored a touchdown in the first overtime as well. But I thought we made it really hard for them, and we had guys in the right spots, and there weren't a lot of missed assignments. They just made plays that need to be made, and in the second overtime, our defense was able to secure tackles and be in the right spot. And same thing, we got a lot of Simon Sound football from our defense, and forced them to kick a field goal, and our offense was on the field and made a touchdown and won the game. So I think we'll have a lot of success if we can rely on those guys, and you know, if we need to kick a field goal, then we have a kicker that can make them.
Getting back to playing better at home, is there any change in routine that you have planned, or will you just go?
Yeah, we've done a lot of different things that I probably don't want to share with you guys. So, yeah, we're not just relying on hope as a way to play better at home. So there's a lot of things that we're doing different in the program this year that we haven't done before, and looking forward to seeing it work.
You said after the game the guys were having fun even in overtime. Do you think there's ways to get them to maybe play that loosely at home?
Oh yeah, we're working on it. So.
Kalani, you said that.
Stop trying to get into my playbook of everything.
Got a story to write.
Yeah, it's not going to be my playbook in my.
You said that you saw improvement from week 1 to week 2.
Mm-hmm.
What improvement specifically on either side of the ball stands out to you?
Well, I mean, I think the assignment part was one that we really focused on. We had a lot of mental breakdowns in week 1, and then specifically taking care of the football, you know, and on defense getting turnovers. And I don't think we had one turnover. I mean, in regulation they scored a touchdown off of our tip pass, you know, that we tipped, and so there's still a lot of things that go on. I mean, when Kavika came off of that drive, he was really frustrated. It was like, hey, you're in the right spot, just catch it next time, you know, and then he did. And so I think just focusing on the things that they did well, but also knowing where you're supposed to be. I think a lot of the mistakes that we had were guys not in the right spot, and even with our assignments and being in the right spots and the right gaps for tackling the run game is something that we still need to improve on, and trying to get that shored up for this game. So and then, you know, but I look at the fourth down stops as turnovers as well. So offense took care of the football, and defense were able to stop them from scoring a lot of points.
How pleased have you been with the growth of the Mike linebacker position these first 2 weeks?
Yeah, I've been really happy with it. I think looking at what Coach Lamb's done with that group, he's done a great job at mentoring linebackers, and Coach Tuyaki's done a great job at putting a scheme that those guys can thrive in, you know. And so the fact that Kavika is doing well and all those linebackers that we're playing a good number of linebackers on the field, and for a lot of them it's their first time getting reps, and that they're playing really assignment sound and technique sound football. So it can always improve and get better, but we're asking from a lot from a bunch of young guys, and they're starting to step up and make some plays.
We've seen you guys use this three-man front a lot through the first 2 weeks with a more of an air raid type of attack USC deploys on offense. Can that work a little better in your mind against a defense like this, having more guys playing in space? Or does it matter?
I don't know. You guys are all trying to get the playbook again. So, I don't know. Just maybe against USC we'll only rush one. We'll see what happens. I don't know. You answered your cold question already. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. We're going to do whatever we can to stop them from scoring points, or try to stop them from scoring points.
BYU's been on the receiving end on what some people have said missed targeting calls, and then of course Devin gets dinged with a targeting call. What were your thoughts on that? Is that what you saw as well?
I mean, looking at the rule, it was. I think I'm just frustrated over the whole thing, because there's a deliberate intent to hurt, and then there's one that's like I don't know. If you're looking at the rules, you just got to live by the rules. He knows better than that, and it's a good way for us to learn from it. But I don't know. I've said it before. I don't know how you can do an unsportsmanlike conduct and continue to keep playing in the game. You can organize a celebration and even taunt another player, and still stay in the game, give another chance. And for if you're looking at something that's not deliberate targeting, then I don't know why you wouldn't do that for these young men that work so hard in the offseason to play only 12 guaranteed team games and trying to earn a 13th in a bowl game, and that's if they stay healthy. And so I'm looking after the kids first, and not really. And I know they have to protect the players, but I don't think if it's something that's incidental, I don't think it needs to really be so harsh.
With what Oldroyd's been able to do to start the year, what kind of a weapon do you feel you have right now with the kicking game?
Oh yeah, he's a great kicker, and he's just a freshman, so he has a lot more years to kick. But I think he's just so competitive, and that whole specialist group is a unique group. Ed Lamb's worked with them, Gavin Fowler's working with them, and so they've been able to do some really good things. And it's just the way they work together, with Danny Jones and Skylar Southam and Mitch Harris, Britt Hogan, and Jake Oldroyd. Those guys work really well together, and they even work out hard in the weight room. So that makes a huge difference for us. But Jake's a competitive guy, just like all the other guys in that group, and that helps out when they get better every week. So he's improving as we continue to practice.
Everybody seems to be trying to come up with like a nickname for him. Do you guys have a nickname for him on the team? Do you have one for him?
No, I don't. You remember that Seinfeld episode where George Costanza tries to make his own nickname up?
Yeah, T-Bone.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever do that. You should just kind of let it happen. So I don't. Yeah, so it can't come from the specialist group. It has to be something that's earned, those nicknames.
How's your ankle?
Yeah, I heard it. So I heard it in the on Micah's catch. I was running down the sideline in the coach's box where you're allowed to run, and apparently someone's I don't know. None of the coaches want to admit it, but one of their headphones, the box fell on the ground, and I stepped on it and popped my ankle. And I didn't go down though, because I was telling them to spike it. I just stayed up spiking it and try to toughen it out a little bit, but it was hurting. And then I don't know, in the overtime we were having a lot of fun. It was still bugging, and it was pretty swollen, but I was able to do a lot of chest bumps and hug, and then as the adrenaline wore off, it started to hurt even more. And but it's fine now because the ankle's great. People ask me how my ankle's doing. It's a winning ankle, so it feels awesome.
Last few questions.
USC's always been considered one of these prestigious brands in college football, especially out west. Just how much does it mean for the program just to play a great brand like that here in Provo?
I think that's awesome for them to have them here, and the opportunity that they're ranked and that we had to play them. I know that coaching staff, they're a great coaching staff, and they've done an amazing job at developing their players. They'll have them ready. I think for me as a head coach is focusing on what we can do as a unit, as a team, and make sure that we perform at our best. That's the key. I don't think we've done it yet, and so my job is to make sure that on Saturday afternoon that we play at our best, and we're getting better, but we'd like to. This would be a good time to play at our best in all three phases and give our fans something to remember.
Their coaching staff has been under fire. Got a big win this past weekend. Your guys in this position, you guys know how much pressure is on coaches. Can that help relieve some of the pressure just seeing your team go out and do what they did last week and your team even did this past week?
I just like helping young men and achieve their dreams and their goals. So seeing those guys have a lot of fun and enjoy the game that they grew up loving, that makes it for me, you know. So and there's a lot of coaches that's why they're into this profession, is helping young men and making sure that they're good contributors to the community later on when they're graduating. So I think that having them just smile is a lot of fun, and seeing them even learn from losses and be able to bounce back has been a lot of fun. As we go through the season, we're going to have a lot of those moments that I just thrive on being able to see these guys do well and enjoy their life and be have fun being a college kid.
Last question.
What do you remember of USC starting defensive tackle Jay Dufele, who's from?
He's a baller, yeah. He's a great player. So I mean, I think he's only a true sophomore right now. He is a great one. Going to be a high draft pick. He's an amazing player, and it's going to be a good matchup for our O-line. So I think we've gone against some really good D-lines along the way, and he works really well. That defensive front is really really athletic and talented. And Jay's one of the guys that stands out. But they have a good number of players, and I know their coach. Chad Kahaha is a great D-line coach, and I know he'll have them ready. But that's some great talent that he's working with up front, and it's going to be fun to see Jay here. I wish he was in a different uniform when we're recruiting him, but it'll be a good matchup for our guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Hey, Kalani, did you ask Zach Donald what possessed him to throw a shoe?
Oh, yeah.
So he threw the shoe. We took him off the field because I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was a bird or something flying in the air. And then I saw it, and so we pulled him out because that's nothing that's. I'd rather have my guys help him up than I don't expect him to tie the shoes for him, but should at least give him the shoe. And he tossed it, and he came to the side, and I was like, "Well, what are you thinking?" He goes, "I don't know. I just, he just had this adrenaline, and so." Just next time, just give the shoe to him, and we'll be okay. But
A little training involved.
yeah, it was an impressive throw. He should have thrown discus in high school. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. So, Brady Christensen.
Guy who scored the winning touchdown.
At least one of 6, or one of 7, or one of 11, whatever.
Tennessee
I'll get
put
it.
a ton of pressure on you guys early. Lots of pressures to get the quarterback and everything. And you guys seem to get stronger toward the end of the game. The run game got better. You were protecting better. What were maybe some of the changes that were made, or did you guys just execute better?
I think we didn't make too many changes at halftime. We knew what we needed to do. I think we just executed better in the second half with protections and specifically running the ball. Once you run the ball, it kind of opens the pass game up too, and they're not as aggressive with the blitzes.
That was one of the focuses last week, heading into this week, was overall better execution. And you touched on it a little bit from start to finish. How do you think the execution was overall, say from week 1 to what we saw last week?
I think it was better. We still got a long ways to go with that aspect. But as long as we keep getting better each week, that's all that counts. So I think we did better.
What was the huddle like with a minute to go, no timeouts, long way to go to potentially tie the game?
I mean, in the huddle, you got to stay calm. At least up front, it was loud, and so I was trying just to focus on my job and just do my job each down. And I think that's what the rest of the guys were doing, is just doing their one job, their 1/11th every play, and not focusing on anything else.
Week 1 to week 2, where have you seen the progression, and where do you see room for improvement on the offensive line?
Progression, I think I don't think we played as good as we could have week 2. Obviously, it was loud, and we weren't very prepared for that, obviously. And so we need to do better and more prepared to handle those situations. We had a couple false starts, and we got to eliminate that. We can't have pre-snap penalties.
How much confidence does it give you that, you pretty much got Tennessee's best shot, and you still, even though you guys didn't play your best, were still able to come out there with a victory?
Yeah, I mean, it gives us confidence. We're always confident, but we're also humble too. We know that we need to continue to work hard every day and every week. We got a tough challenge coming up with USC, and so we know we got to be on our A game to be successful this week.
What comes to mind when you think of USC?
Historic. That's what I can think of. I remember as a little kid watching them and being like, "Oh, the USC's playing Reggie Bush, man! Like these guys are the best of college football." So I'm personally super excited to play these guys this week.
I don't know how much you've been able to see of them yet, but what do you know at this point specifically about their defense?
I know they have a very good athletic D-line, a very good D-line. So I know we got to be prepared for that.
Why do you think you guys play better on the road against Power 5 teams than at home in the 2 years you've been here?
It's a good question. If I knew the answer, we would probably figure it out. I know we have 2 P5 games coming up at home, and I know we just got to play loose and have fun and go out there and protect Lavelle's house, but also it's our house too. I mean, that's what his wife said. It's our house, and so we got to go in and just protect it.
Do you think that pressure causes you maybe not to play, the pressure of the home crowd or whatever, maybe causes you guys not to play as loosely as you did like against Tennessee?
Yeah, I think it has something to do with it. There's always a lot of anxiety and anxiousness before games. That's just common, a lot of nerves. And then when you're going playing at home in front of these great fans, you can feel nervous. But I think we just got to get past that and just play our best and have fun, really.
We saw you guys switch up your snap count, I don't know, for lack of a better word, snap count
in
that game. How'd that compare crowd-wise to everything you've experienced so far in your career?
As for me, it's the loudest game I've ever played. I had to look at the ball the whole game. I just couldn't hear it, and so it was loud. It was louder than I expected, but I came in expecting a loud game, but it was loud.
As compared to what you faced against Utah and then Tennessee on the defensive line, do you expect the kind of similar type of talent level from the defensive line coming in from USC?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we knew coming in these first 4 games, the D-lines were going to be top level, and so we prepared this offseason to take it one game at a time, but to be ready for these big D-lines, big and athletic and fast, and we're ready. We're going to be ready for it.
Beyond just it being USC and at home, this is an opportunity for you guys Saturday afternoon on ABC. How excited do you get for these types of opportunities?
Oh, I love the national exposure. I mean, they just took it to Stanford this last week, so they're a great team. And I love the opportunity we have to be able to play on a nationally televised game in front of thousands of people and everyone watching around the world. So I'm excited.
With Tyson being the type of running back that he is, speed, but also he has size, so he can bulldoze people. Is there anything that you, as a offensive line unit, do differently when he is a running back than you've had to do with previous ones that you've had?
I think with him and a lot of the other guys, you're blocking you're expecting him to make that big run. You don't know when it's going to be, but every play you're like, he could break it, like give it all I got because he could break it. So I'm not saying we're necessarily blocking harder, but you do kind of have that mentality is you never know when he's going to break a big 40, 50-yard run, you know.
At what point did you and the rest of the offensive unit realize that it was going to be up to everyone to get him to the end zone in overtime?
I just looked over and there was a huge pile and we were only probably on the 3-yard line. I was just like, here we go. So I went in and just pushed. And actually, I watched it again and I thought we still weren't in. I wasn't very aware of like where the end zone line was, and so I was still pulling and we were like 2 yards in, but we got in, so it was awesome.
How much do you feel like he could have done by himself versus you actually getting him? Does that make sense?
Wait, yeah, ask it another way.
He had the pile up driving it himself, but how much do you feel like you guys did to get him across that goal line?
Obviously he did a lot of it. He's a running back. He was the one everyone's trying to stop. But I think that extra push with the whole line that, moved the pile. So I think it was a lot, both.
Did you notice guys like Aleva and Micah willing you?
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Aleva was like the magician. Like, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. That was awesome.
What about on that long play to Micah? What was the reaction? I mean, it seems like what would take over is your training because you know you got to get up the ball and and spike it. But what were your perception of that play when it was happening?
Right, my first thought was, all right, I got to block. They know it's a pass, obviously, so I got to have a real good set. Had a good block, and I just looked up, and I was like, holy cow, he might score. So I just started sprinting because I knew if he didn't score, we'd have to spike it real quick. And so that was my thought process.
With regards to Micah, him being a senior leader, what kind of teammate is he, and how cool is it for him to get a play like that?
Oh, he's one of the best teammates I've ever had in my life. He's a great leader, a great friend, a great person, and it was awesome to see him have the type of game that he had. It was fun for me, and he's been great to me and been a great leader to me and helped, especially last year as a freshman, like calm down in games, and just he's really helped me a ton, so it was fun to see.
Is it different having Chandon or Kiefer alongside you on that left side, or does it matter having you there at guard?
I love playing with both of them. They play similar, I'd say. And so whoever is in, I give a fist pump, and I say, let's go. So it's been fun.
Over 100 people went to the Provo airport to kind of welcome you guys back from Knoxville. Does seeing something like that, does a big win, I guess, like that over the weekend kind of rejuvenate the fan base maybe a little bit, especially for two big home games against Pac-12 opponents, that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys kind of feel that?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I mean, sports is a roller coaster, and being a fan, I'm a fan of a lot of teams. You know, I love the Utah Jazz and fan of just sports, and so it's a roller coaster. And so when you get a big win like that, it really, rejuvenates you as a fan.
Kalani's not a coach that hides his emotions at all. What does that do for you guys when he's just going nuts on the side?
I love it because a lot of people don't understand how much work and effort is put into all this, and just like the behind the scenes of what he does and what the other coaches do and what the players do. And when you get a win like that, it's just like the hard work pays off, and it's one of the best feelings you can ever feel. At least for me, it's one of the best feelings I've felt.
Last question for Brady.
Don't always, we see the post-game celebrations and the dance in the middle of everybody. When are we going to see some offensive linemen in the circle there?
We could. We're not the best dancers. When you're 6'5" and 300 pounds and white, it's not the best combo for dancing. But there's a couple of the guys that can dance on the offensive line.
So no dancing bears.
Nah, we might give a little like shimmy, but that's about it.
Who's got the best moves?
Oh, who's got the best moves? James MP is he's got some good moves. Yeah, he's not bad.
I feel like Tristan would be secretly good kind of in that dance huddle like that.
I think he's probably terrible at dancing. To be honest. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brady.
Tristan would be more like thinks he's good at dancing.
That's probably more accurate.
Overconfident guy.
All right, we got Kairos Tonga next.
In terms of what we've seen from the D-line so far, do you feel like you're coming close to your ceiling in terms of what you guys can do?
I feel like we've been improving, like from Utah to Tennessee. I think there's still a lot to learn from and to grow as a defensive line, but that's good for us. Just improve. Hopefully, we can continue to improve and just get better each and every day during practice.
Have you been able to get much of a look at the true freshman quarterback for USC yet? I know there's only about a game and a half of tape.
Yeah. I think we're gonna go more in depth today, but I started watching film on the way home from Tennessee, just watching the game, and he's a good quarterback, so it's gonna be fun. His O line is very good, receivers are great, so it'll be a good test for us.
You said you guys get better as that Tennessee game went along. What went into that?
I think just playing in Tennessee, a lot of nervous. Like a lot of people were nervous, being able to play in SEC, like an SEC school. So I think as our emotions went down and we just started playing ball, started doing what we needed to do, and worked out.
Do you get the same nerves playing at home, just maybe caused by the large crowds or anything, or what's the difference?
I think playing at home. No, I don't really get nervous playing at home. I wasn't really nervous at Tennessee. Kind of more of a it's crazy being there. It gave me flashbacks to Wisconsin. When we went over there, I wasn't really nervous, but more shocked at like how loud it was. I mean, people were booing us and stuff, but it was fun. So
You're going from facing a couple of run-heavy offenses back to facing an offense that has more air raid and more passing in it. What's the challenge for a defensive line to switch from kind of facing a run-heavy attack to a pass-heavy attack?
yeah, our mindset needs to be get to the QB as fast as we can, pressure the freshman quarterback. That has to be key for our defensive line. We need to crush the pocket. With the run, it's all about penetration and being in the backfield. And now it's if we can contain the QB, it'll be good for us. So.
Was that by design that you didn't start out the first couple plays of that game on Saturday?
Yeah, I had hurt my knee. I didn't think I was going to play this game, so I tweaked it. So I sat back and watching and just went in and just started playing. So
the coaches had rolled you out.
Yeah, no, they just said be smart with it, but they weren't gonna. They're just gonna have me like go with the 3s and the 4s, and then as the game went on, I just started playing more. So
How's it feel now here on
feels
Monday?
good. It's good.
You're
It's,
gonna be ready to go this
yeah,
week?
I'm excited. Yeah.
So it got better with playing, man.
Yes, sir.
We see you had some success running the ball, and then late in the fourth and overtime, you guys were able to clamp that down. How were you guys able to adjust and stop the run late in that game?
They really trusted their running backs throughout the whole game. He was breaking off the edge, and Coach Elisa just told us to just get penetration because the way they're blocking us, they try to cut us off, and they cut us off a lot. So our focus was to penetrate and to seal the edge. So our DNs did great job of sealing the edge towards the end, and it causes us the D linemen and the linebackers to fill in the holes and make the plays.
Kairos, last year you guys beat Arizona, came home, didn't play well, and lost to Cal. Went to beat Wisconsin, came home, beat McNeese State, but then later you lost to Washington and then Utah home. Why do you think you played better on the road against these bigger teams?
I don't know. I think it's I don't know. We love playing home. We love playing anywhere actually. For me, it's I think just a lot of the players we have like a mindset of we got to be perfect in front of our home crowd, and then when we go away, we like all right, we'll make mistakes, but we can build off of it. I think we just need to just get away from that mindset and just play ball and just to have fun.
You mentioned a minute ago how important it will be to put pressure on the USC quarterback and get that penetration. Overall, through the first 2 games, how do you feel you guys as a defensive line have done with that on getting the pressure you want to get?
I think we can do way better. Like I said, we're still learning. We're still improving, and I hope as a D line we can to execute on game days with that. So.
What were you thinking of your fellow defensive lineman, Zach, chucking that shoe? Did you see that at all when it happened live?
So I had that play. I had ran out to grab water, and I turned around and I just see something in the air. So I thought it was a bird, and I thought a bird came straight down to their sideline, and they came off there laughing. I was like, "What happened to Zach did a QB shoe?" I just started laughing like, "Dude, this guy, man." But I thought it's funny. It's Zach Dalby. I don't know. That's weird. I wouldn't have done it, but he did it, man. It was funny, though.
What do you think of the growth of your other teammate, Nisa Mahe? He's been making a great push and consistently the last 2 weeks.
No, he's I'm proud of him. He's come a long ways off his injuries. He's been working hard, and he's definitely gonna get a lot more playing time. He's a strong guy, built for the job. So.
You guys were down pretty much from the beginning of the game all the way until Jake tied it up at the end. How do you keep that morale up to keep yourselves in the game?
We've been in situations like that. I mean, we were telling our offense, like, hey, we know you guys are going to pull through. We didn't know when, if it's going to be in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, but we know you guys will pull through, and we'll keep our end of the bargain. So defense, every time it was
said the offense would come out in 3 and out, we already had the mentality like, all right, we're going to keep them from not scoring. I'll hold them to a field goal if that, but if anything else than that is bad. So we kept high hopes, and the offense did their job. They went down, they scored. Micah had that great catch, and everything was just on point. So.
Do you have any personal connections to anyone on this USC team? Any friendships there?
No. Sorry.
Did USC recruit you? Were they part of anybody that recruited you?
No, not USC. So I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone in California. So so yeah.
Growing up, did you see USC like what they are?
Oh yeah. Growing up, I always knew USC in my head. It's just a powerhouse in everything that they do. If it's academics or volleyball or football, everything they do is good. So.
You played as a 5 technique at times. You see in that 3-man set. Fancy yourself a defensive end at some level?
I mean, I don't like playing outside. If that's that's just me. But it's just I rather take the double teams like every single day than be out there. It's just so much space out there for me. So it's weird. So.
Last question. Are you going to take a lot of double teams against this SC front line that's been pretty good through 2 games with 2 different quarterbacks and everything?
And the way I shoot it, oh man, I hope I can get the 1-on-1. Like if the center, then yeah, but I'll take the double team if I need to. So I'm not complaining.
Okay, thanks, Tyrus.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, dude.
Don't know anybody.
Here's Mike Simon.
I'm sure you've been describing it all weekend, but can you describe that play from your perspective in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, really just four verts. From my side of the field, had Bushman inside of me. We all know he's a great player, great tight end. Had a lot of guys looking at him, a lot of guys, kind of covering him, and I just slipped behind the guy. Zach saw it, made a great throw, and was able to get in the field goal range and get Jake the make out there to take us in overtime.
Looking back at the film, now you got a chance to watch it again. What did you take away that you didn't take away from the game itself?
Just overall. Yeah, I think I think some of it had been talked about after the game and other interviews, but our pre-snap operation wasn't crisp at all. We had to make some changes. That stadium was super loud, and credit to those fans for making it hard on us. But we were able to kind of bounce back. But I felt like a lot of those pre-snap issues caused us to kind of have a small lapse in some of our plays, put us in some difficult situations. And I look back at our third down total as well. Third downs was not nearly as where we wanted it to be. It wasn't as good as it was week 1. So that's something we'll have to clean up on.
When you made that big play at the end, were you aware of just how tight the time was, or when you made the catch, just how far you still had to go to get in the field goal range, or were you just kind of doing what you could?
I had a thought kind of right before the play, and it was like 18 seconds left when we snapped the ball, and I wasn't counting in my head while I was running, but when I had the ball and I felt a little pressure, I did kind of just glance up at the clock to see how much time was left. I think it was about 7 or 8 seconds left. So then I knew I wasn't going to score, so I just thought about protecting the ball and just letting our field goal team get out there to take us in overtime.
One thing you mentioned earlier, you talked about needing to clean up on the penalties and everything, but you guys did clean up on the turnovers, didn't have turnovers against Tennessee like you did against Utah. What was kind of the key in being successful in that category?
I think it was just kind of first start off with the game plan, and everybody knew exactly what we needed to do to go out there and win the game, and then Zach making great decisions with the ball all night, and then also just with receivers, us making great decisions as well, and knowing the overall concept of the play, the overall details of each route, and just cleaning up the reads for Zach, because just like week 1, I kind of made it tough on Zach on a play that caused one of the picks, and just cleaning up the things like that was, I think, made us successful this week.
Do you have to strike it like a middle balance where you're trying to clean things up, but you're trying also not to think about it too much to where it gets in your head and you're constantly worrying about turnovers?
We really don't say don't turn the ball over. We just say, take care of the ball and make great decisions. So I think it's positive thinking, and that's what we do.
Players have always credited you as a guy that really helps behind the scenes and is a guy that means a lot in this team. To have the game that you had last week, how big was that for you to just finally have that game where you're the guy?
It's just my job to go out there and make plays when my number's called. I would have felt the same way if I had 1 catch or 7, and that's just what I wanted to kind of accomplish this season. Is just to be a consistent, reliable player for Zach and for my teammates to trust and coaches to trust.
As far as just being that guy behind the scene, what have you tried to do since you arrived at BYU just to become that guy?
Just trying to be a leader when needed. Trying to bring other guys along to help them out. It's really hard to say. Just being here for 5 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs with this program, with myself, and it's just you see some things finally coming together as this program and as this team.
What are your thoughts on USC?
Great team, man. Really excited for them to come in. It's a great opportunity for us. They have a great defense. 2-0 right now. They played a great game against Stanford this past weekend. We'll just get in the film room and get ready to go.
In terms of opportunities, this will be your second-ranked team in your first 3 games. It's national television, Saturday afternoon, ABC. I'm assuming these are the kind of opportunities you guys live for.
Yeah, it's what you dream of. This is what it's all about. Just preparing and going out there and executing.
Micah, when you sat down, I noticed the Defend Harlem shirt, and I know a lot about the Sojourner Truth School, about the mentorship program. You guys do a lot for the students that you mentor, but what do they do for you as a football player and as a human?
Oh man, just going out there. I've been to Harlem 3 times now with Kalani's More to Life Foundation, and those kids might learn a lot from us, but we learn a lot from them as well. Just they might have it a little more tough than we do, some difficult situations, but they have a smile on their face every day, and they're always trying to be at school, learning with intent, and taking care of their extracurricular activities, sports, and things like that. So the mentoring's been great. Just being able to talk with those kids and see how they've been doing.
Mike, have you been able to put a finger on why you guys played better on the road than at home the last few years?
I don't really think we, it's like a super trend that we play better on the road than at home. I feel like that, we just have to kind of always just be prepared for anything, at home or on the road, and it just kind of starts in practice and starts in practice and it continues with execution throughout whatever adversity we get hit with.
You're a Texan. What was your perception of USC growing up? Were you a Longhorn or
Yeah, I really wasn't like a huge just college football I obviously watched football, but I didn't have a team. So, I wasn't like a Texas fan and, that Rose Bowl and, those types of games. But, USC's had great players throughout the years, and just looking forward to playing them. Had some friends that played there in the past. So, nobody currently, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the development of the run game and how that helped open up the field a little bit against Tennessee?
Yeah, we might have had some struggles early on in the game in the run game, but we stuck with it. We stuck with the O-line creating holes and Tyson and all the other running backs doing their part. And as receivers, we always talk about trying to make that extra block downfield, and saw Talon Shumway, Dax Milne, Gunnar Romney doing all types of things like that as well.
As far as being a leader, is that something that comes naturally to you? Is there a particular teammate that maybe showed you the way when you came to BYU? Or?
I think some of it has been natural, just kind of throughout high school and maybe being a leader, being a captain there. And then coming here, you just kind of have to wait for your time. You know, even as a Kalani always talks about how anybody can be a leader, and that was tough for me just as a freshman or sophomore, because you felt like you may not have kind of earned the right for your teammates to listen to you or teammates to kind of trust you, but you just kind of have to go for it. And I guess, yeah, it's part of the other question. There were a lot of guys when I was younger that I did learn from that were captains here before. You know, I always think about my first year and just Taysom and Bronson, those guys, and then I'm super close with Fred Warner, and he's been a great leader here, and he's doing it now in the NFL as well. So I've learned a lot from all those guys.
Anything else?
Tyson's game-winning run, you were kind of ushering him into the end zone. Did you think to go in there and push the pile with him?
Oh no, that was Leva, yeah, he was doing this. I was still like way on the outside. I just had my hands up like this the whole time. But yeah, Leva said he had the magic touch, so we'll see if he can keep doing that for us.
You mentioned your closeness with Fred. Has he been able to share anything with you from playing in the NFL that has kind of helped you in your progression at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we've talked about. Kind of just how to carry yourself every day. Be the same guy every day, no matter the situation, no matter if you had a great game or if you had a bad game. Just be that same player, that same team guy every day, and just go out and handle your business. Shout out to Fred, he played well.
Thanks, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Good man.